Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. My name is David James. We are here with Bridging the Gap. We are a local producer. We are not part of PAC 14. We use this platform to bring forth information, but once again, the information we bring forth is not the thought and feeling of PAC 14. We do appreciate them allowing us to use this as our avenue of bringing forth information, and we hope you enjoy it.
On the bench. Man, this has been amazing. We've been having some amazing conversations, and I'm hoping some great things are going to come out of this. And this is long due conversation. Let me slide down a little bit. Okay. So I want to get you in. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And so welcome. So tell us a little bit about you. Tell us maybe a little bit about your background, and we're just gonna have a real dialogue as it relates to homelessness.
Okay. I'm a veteran. I'm a disabled veteran.
Yeah.
I have had my touches with the law. I've actually been homeless, and I actually stayed in this shelter right here years and years ago. Probably about 30 years ago.
Wow.
I stayed in the shelter, and my life began to change because I was able to take care of some things and get back on track. I'm very grateful for the support that I was given. It was kind of hard because I have two children, and they were here in this shelter with me, and it's good that this shelter has been around for as long as it has, supporting single mothers as I was and others, and it provided a safe haven for myself and my children, and I've always been grateful for that. Always been grateful for that. I have always been in nursing, and then I kind of transitioned into mental health, and I have been a licensed therapist now for years. I have my own practice, and you gave me my start.
Oh, wow.
With allowing me to come and collaborate with the shelter.
Wow.
And I will forever be grateful for you and the Christian shelter for that. I work with a lot of homeless in the jobs that I work on. And people always, think they judge books by covers. And there are many people who are homeless that actually have jobs. One thing I can say, in the economy that we're living in now, I feel that renters have no rights. Landlords can just charge whatever they want. Over the last couple of years, landlords have been able to just quadruple the rent, and there are working class people who have found themselves homeless that get up and go to work every day. And in this location, this area, it is hard to find reasonable rent for a single mother or even families now. It is very difficult. It's very expensive. So homelessness, people kind of have a stereotype of what a homeless person looks like. Like they don't want to do better, or they don't want anything, and that is so not true. Working homelessness has really increased over the last 2 years. I've seen it where people are working and they're taking care of their families, and they cannot find affordable housing. In places like this that welcome children and families in, it's so needed. We just don't have enough to meet the demands of the homelessness that is going on in our area now. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Do you think the state government, federal government, do you think we are handicapping the homeless? Not only the state, local, federal government, along with the landlords, because you hit something. Do you think we're handicapping?
Yes, I do.
Why?
I think that they put stipulations that make it inaccessible for many people. I think that sometimes they create problems to be the ones to have the solution. There was a time when people didn't depend on the state. Communities helped each other. I don't see that as much. churches used to be the soul.
Say that again.
Churches used to be the soul of the community.
Yeah.
And I said, and the Bible says that the church is supposed to set the standard for the world, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So when I see things and people aren't giving back and they're not providing, and it's also about learning and literacy, financial literacy, learning things, and we used to look out for one another. Elderly people, our ancestors, our mothers in the churches, they gave back. They gave back with their wisdom and their experiences. And I just feel like there is a cutoff from that, because somewhere in there the government came in and said, I'll be your daddy.
Wow.
I'll be your husband.
Oh, that is so good.
You don't need that. And they destroyed families.
Yeah.
They destroyed families.
Yeah.
So now you ostracize the husband in the household by saying, I'll come in, I'll feed your children, I'll give you a roof over top of your head, I'll help you pay your electric bill. You don't need that man. And now homes are broken up. I can even look at my mother's generation. The men walked down the street. You could tell that was a man, that was a husband, that was a father.
Right.
The children looked to their father before they did something.
Right.
They appreciated him. They respected him. Now when you take him out of the household, they don't respect that.
Ooh.
I mean, I saw a study, and it was done with elephants. They removed the male elephants out of it, and the young elephants ran crazy.
Yeah.
The women elephants, the female elephants couldn't control them. And then what they did is they brought an older elephant back into the pack, and they began to get back in line. That man is needed. A husband is needed. A father is needed in children's lives. The children that are supposed to be our future, they can't read now.
Right.
They can't read. They can't talk. They talk in LOL and SMH. I don't know what that stuff is. I don't know. You say, what is the problem? It's so many things. But I do think that the government is probably the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Because then once they got you dependent on them, now they'll snatch it away at the least little thing. The least little thing. If that woman begins to get up on her feet, they snatching this away from her. They're snatching that away from her. And we live in fear. We live in fear. They put up high rises. They take away home ownership. They put you in these high rises. They say, long as you don't work, you can stay here for free. But the minute you get a job, we're cutting off your food stamps, we're raising your rent, we're making child care so expensive for you that you're just working to pay for your daycare and your Uber to get back and forth to work. There's no incentive for these mothers to go out and go to work. There's no incentive. Once leads to learned helplessness, because when I see my mother dependent on the government, all I think is that I need to depend on the government too, and that creates generational curses.
Back, and as I promised, we're going to chop it up on here about what's going on with the situation with housing. While we were at break a while ago, Council Lady Jackson started talking a little bit about how she feels about things. You want to go ahead and say it again?
No, I don't. No, sorry. I'm just kidding. The realization of it all is that we, as a people. Okay, when I was explaining to you about the housing on, they used to be by the old mall. They wanted to put by the old mall. They didn't do it because of. But in order for you to get public housing and subsidized housing, it's a program you have to go through to even get that funded through. If you're housing owner or whatever, if you're going to own the development, I put it like this, and you want it to be affordable, you have to go through the process and the procedure to get that funding or get authorized to even do that.
And it's a long process.
It could be a year. You know how the government works. They're long-winded to do things.
Wow.
But just like you were talking about the Gillises, I asked them to put affordable housing in there. I didn't ask them to put 25 in there. If they're going to put 60 or 70, at least put 10. Just be decent about this. nobody can afford the prices that they're going to require. And I support these young men simply because
The Gillises.
yes, I support them not, and I don't want nobody to take this offensively, and I don't want the
Right,
city to
sure.
think that I was dealing with them in the beginning. But what I do, I require, they're from here.
Uh-huh.
And I feel as though we should support our own before we support somebody from another state or another city.
Got that.
They're here.
Sure.
And we can really hold them accountable for anything that they do that's not just.
Sure.
More so than you can do it for somebody in Florida, New Jersey, California, whatever. However, we need to support our own, and we need to support, but we need to make sure when we bring these people in our city and our county that they have to be required to do what we want them to do, not what they want to do.
No, you're talking about developers.
Yes.
So when basically with the Gillises, you ask them if you're going to be building or doing anything to make sure that you have some affordable housing included. And did they say okay to that?
Well, I don't remember them saying anything, but that's a requirement. That should be one of the requirements. You're coming, and not only them.
Right.
I'm talking about even developers coming from abroad or
Sure,
coming from
sure.
out of our city or our state.
like the Ross building.
Yeah, you need to make sure that there are affordable housing in each one of these units and these developments because, hey, everybody can't afford them prices. And to make it just for everybody, do the right thing by people. You know, we got people, like I said, we got another developer that was coming in here to have some property annexed. I made him table it. Because we haven't talked to the developer, we haven't made any new laws, we haven't done anything to this ordinance to put it in place or put in place what we desire to have in our city. I said I'm tired of developers coming in here doing what they want and then run.
Wow.
And then just run
Wow.
on about their business. This is why that Permiton is in the disarray that they're in is because we allow these developers to come here, plant their feet here, and don't hold their feet to the fire. And this is what we need to be doing, holding their feet to the fire. You know, I tell the people in Permiton, get your escrow account, write a letter of all
Wow.
the things that you have going on in your place, send it to them. Certified to make sure that they sign. You see who signed for it. Then, if you don't get a response within 30 days, you go to the bank and start an escrow account. They can't put you out. They cannot
Wow.
put you out. You put your money in escrow. Make sure you put your money in escrow, and don't sit and say that, oh, well, I put it in escrow. And then you don't, because they have all cause then to put you out because you don't have an escrow account. You didn't send them any certified letter stating that you had these complaints. They have up to 30 days to fulfill those complaints after they get that letter. So, you know, like I said, Permiton, you know, I have a desire to work with them wholeheartedly. I do, because I have been talking about this for the last 8 years.
Wow.
8 years. 8 years I've been on it.
Wow.
And then the prior manager there,
Wow.
she used to call me and cry, just literally cry. She says, I don't know what to do. They're not giving, and they're from New Jersey. The owners are from New Jersey. And when I called them and asked them, what are y'all doing about your property here? Oh, well, we're in New Jersey. I said, so, that just gives you the idea of not even come down and inspect your property. You own this property and you're not inspecting your own property, but you
Wow.
get government funding from the state of Maryland.
Wow.
Okay?
So
To-
you getting yours,
you-
but the people are not
and
getting
they
what
fix
they
it up
deserve.
just enough
Just
to
enough.
pass inspection.
Now, Bishop, you and I were talking about habitat. Now, in order for people to get, try to get started on owning their house, is it kind of a hard process with them?
I don't know whether it's a hard process, but I would say, it's a start. If anything, you will end up with good credit.
Okay,
And so it's
because they help you to fix your credit
Yes.
if you have
Yeah.
credit
Yeah,
issues.
you have to go through several modules of their program.
Sure.
And once you graduate, then,
But it takes time. People need housing now. And maybe Council Lady Jackson, I don't know if you know anything about with Habitat, they don't do too much building outside of city limits.
No, because they have to acquire the property.
And
They
it's
have to acquire the property, so if somebody doesn't want to sell them the
Interesting.
property, then they don't get it. Now, the city has basically funded them because they have quite a few places now. They do have some places that are in the county up on Westover Hill. They have like maybe 2 or 3 on Westover Hill that they have acquired. Now, when it goes to Rose Street and the Salisbury Neighborhood Housing has helped a lot of people. They have built all those new houses on Rose Street and Lake.
Wow.
Those are Salisbury Neighborhood Housing. As far as Habitat, Habitat, I think honestly, I do think it's that they can't acquire that property. And if they can't acquire that property,
so their hands are tied.
yeah, their hands are tied.
Wow.
But I know they work with my daughter, and I can honestly say they got her on her feet. But there's criteria you have to meet. You have to do voluntary services and things like that. And I think you should have to do some things.
Right,
Sure.
you should
Because
be
anything
able
that's
to give
handed to
back
you,
to what's- I
handed
get
to
that.
you, you don't appreciate.
At
but you
least
gotta
they get a
work
good
for it.
piece of
Yeah.
property, though.
Right.
You know,
Right.
And Bishop Dickerson, I want to bring this back to you also again. The prices that people are being charged, the pieces. The pieces of property, are they worth it? You think?
No, I don't think that they're worth the price that people are paying for. I think with somebody we need to force some of these landlords to put a cap on these properties, and if we have to come together as a community, because remember, we put you in there.
Come on.
And if we vote you in, we could vote you out.
Exactly.
It's just that simple, and that's why it's so important to vote. If you're not doing what we ask you to do,
Guess what?
then the thing is, we can, and I'm going to say what I say to my guests: we will release you into your destiny.
Wow.
I like that. Come
That's
on.
really good.
Come
Yes.
on. Yeah.
Okay, so help me out here, because I'm like Habitat for Humanity. They build you houses, right? And so they're not giving them to you. I probably sound dumbfounded right now, but they're not giving them to you. They build them for you, but you still have to pay. You
yes.
still have to do that. Now, do they get a discounted price
They
for
go through the
this?
same process as
Yeah.
somebody on like going for affordable housing. They go through the same process. Now I can honestly say
So
my
it's a
daughter's
list.
home is affordable. It is affordable, but your insurance comes out of that. Your owner's insurance comes out of that. Homeowners insurance comes out of that. Rent and
Yeah, your
I don't.
taxes, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it does
taxes,
come out of
yeah.
that. All that comes out of that. So, it's what more can you ask for?
Right.
What more can
And
you
they
ask
build
for?
it for you. So, yeah. So
and then
should
you work,
have
and
to
then you
give
put
back
you have a
some
hand
way.
in it.
Sweat equity.
Yeah. You have a hand-
You gotta
yeah.
put
Okay.
some sweat equity in it.
This is interesting.
Yeah, but then they have another program. I think they just got this year, where they can pay first month's rent and security deposit for those that are looking for a home. I mean, for those who are looking for housing. Yeah.
It'd be really nice if there was some good people. I was gonna say just Christian, but I'm hoping just good people out there that
Right.
would link up with like the Christian shelter. I'm talking about landlords, okay? And you're not trying to assault people's pockets and try to overcharge, but maybe get with the Christian shelter, because not everybody homeless is a criminal.
Right.
Not everybody homeless is there because they just don't know that things happen, and there's a lot of people who really just need
Circumstances.
exactly. Some people just need help up. Not a hand out,
Yeah.
but
Right.
help up.
Yeah.
It would be great if there were just some of those landlords out there. And look, those, and I don't know how tax credits work, and I truthfully would never want to give to anybody for a tax credit. But look, those that have a lot of money, you want to have some tax right up at the end of the year.
Well, some of them are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, and the problem is they don't want to give. And I'll be perfectly honest.
Wow.
But you will not always have that silver spoon in your mouth. Okay? And I think when you have that spoon in your mouth, you should want somebody else to have that same taste in their mouths as well. So you're born with a silver spoon, you don't want to share. And at all. I remember one time, I'm not going to mention the lawyer's son's name, I'm not going to mention him, but it was an award ceremony we had honoring some people. And he blatantly told us, I'm mad with y'all. Y'all took some of my money.
Wow.
Wow, really?
He said, "No, you
Here's
took.
the thing,
Wait a
y'all.
minute,
You
took some of
can't
my
take it
inheritance
with you when
Yeah.
you pass.
He said,
so
you took some of my
spread the
inheritance.
love, okay?
He said, you took some of my inheritance.
Wow.
And I looked at him. I was like, "Oh, did y'all hear what he just said?" And said, "That's how some people think."
Wow. Wow.
You know, let me say this: I wouldn't rent a house to somebody that I wouldn't live in. That's what I wouldn't do. First of all,
Or wouldn't want somebody, like, if you wouldn't want your mom living there, don't rent it out to somebody.
Right.
You know, there needs to be more inspections. I don't even think we even inspect in between rental properties. You know, there should never be somebody going into a place and making this their new home, and there's still holes in the wall,
Right.
or there's roaches that are going to come out later on.
I have a young lady right now is in a dilemma, and I really need to call her and talk to her. She's living in a Section 8, subsidized, housing authority house in the city. She had to take him to court, okay? Because her floors are falling, the ceiling's falling in. And the city had no jurisdiction of it. They had to go to court in order for the judge to order them to go in and inspect this house. What kind of crap is this? If you have a house in the city should not have to go to court to inspect this house. I mean, what? Because it's the county? No. It's in the city limits.
They got to work together.
Yes. So they went to court. This young lady's still crying about, and they offered her $3,000 in back rent. They give her, but she's to the point now she just wants to move because now she feels like she's being retaliated against, and they don't want to do right by her. But I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody, now I'm not gonna say some don't and some do, but everybody does not want to live gutter.
Right.
Right.
They don't want to live gutter, and I feel like if this woman's children have been sick
Because of
with
the
upper
conditions.
respiratory conditions and everything
Wow.
because of the dampness, the moisture, and everything. If I could show you some of the pictures that this young lady has sent me, and I feel for her.
Wow.
And I talked to the city inspectors, and they told me what I had to do and told me to tell her what she had to do. She did it, and they're just patching up stuff. The county is just patching.
Wow.
You know, like I told somebody in a city council meeting. We was talking about Fitzwater Street 4 or 5 years ago. And I said I would like to see these places redone, the houses and everything. Everything's done. I just want to see a beautiful place. I just vision a beautiful place in my eyes for
It's
the
coming.
people.
It's coming.
So the one person said, well, we can get somebody to donate some paint and we can go over there and paint the houses on the outside. And I turned around and looked at them. I said, you know what that's like?
Put lipstick on a pig.
I said, put a wedding gown on me. I'm going to get married and I'm broken inside. I don't have a bit more have no business getting married.
Wow.
And also, why would you want to do something when the internal...
Yes, it's an internal thing.
It's an internal thing. You've got to structure the house. You can't just put paint on something and make it all right. You just can't put lipstick on me and make me all right if I'm not feeling like that. Go inside and gut the whole place out. Yes, gut it out.
And I know that over at the Christian shelter, you get a lot of people coming in there, and they bring in a lot of stuff from these houses. I mean, and I know you'll never do that, but if you were to actually say, I'm pretty sure you can ask them wherever you live in. If you look at who those renters were, I guarantee you have the same name show up.
Yep, and we do have families that they are very let me put it this way, they're very untidy.
Wow.
And it's a shame. It's a shame because you ought to take care of other people's property. You ought not because you didn't get it that way. You should. And it's sad that some of these young families, they need to be trained. They need to be taught.
Yeah.
And some of them have been taught. Now, some of them have been taught.
Absolutely.
Some of them just feel like, I'll tell you what, I've heard a lot of the young people say, this is the first time I got a place, I'm going to do what I want to do in my place. I'm tired of cleaning. I'm tired of doing this. I'm looking at them like, are you for real? And if you go
Bring them up in the way they should go.
if you go in their apartment it's a war-torn apartment.
It looked like the city dump.
It looks just like, and I
Yes.
cannot, now I'm gonna be honest with you, I cannot blame some of these landlords for the prices that they pay, because some of them do go in and actually fix their places up. I can't rebuttal that, none whatsoever. But what I can say is these young people need to learn how to take care and manage places. Over there where I'm living at, I've seen quite a few of them. Quite a few of them. And we're getting ready to get a renovation January. And I just blatantly told them, I said, let me say something to you young ladies. This place is getting ready to be fixed up. I said, if I was a manager, a lot of y'all would be put out just looking at the window treatment. I said, so if your window treatment looks that's a reflection of how you're living on the inside.
Yep.
Because if somebody's on the outside looking in,
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
well, every blind in their apartment is, or every blind in their house is tore up. So imagine what's going on the inside. You don't have to. When you step out and look cute, everything you have should be cute.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to say, though. I'm sitting here thinking about what y'all are saying about some of these families. But you know what? There are landlords that look for families like that. They're not going to fix up their place because they look at the person and say, they'll never amount to anything. Let's think about it.
Well, they gave my girlfriend.
They stereotype.
Funny, they gave my girlfriend. It wasn't funny, but it was. They gave her address and they sent her over on. If it was a GNI. Well, I don't know if it was them or not, but they sent her over to where Marshall's camp is. And she said, I told them people, I don't know what you gave me that for, because I'm not going over there. I'm not used to living like that. You charging them people $1,000 for a house you can go in the front door, and you can step right out the back door. Living in those brick adobe-like places that...
You mean the ticky-tack houses?
Wait a minute. Those places were there for migrant workers.
Right.
They were the first migrant camp, one of the first migrant camps here.
I remember those.
Okay?
Yep.
And they have not fixed those places up. Tangier Street has the flat tops. They've been there ever since.
Yep.
I'm 67, so they were there before I got there.
Yep.
So they got to be well over 70, 80 years old, and nobody's done anything to make them changes. This community, we got pastors in the community, we got this in the community. Your community should reflect your church. It should reflect your church.
Wow.
It should reflect your
I
church.
almost just want to drop the mic on that statement.
It should. I feel
wow.
as though when it's no way in the world, and I'm adamant about it. I do everything I can. No, I'm not always politically correct in everything I do, but I have a heart and
You're
compassion
real.
for people. I love people. Even though people don't like me, I love them. And whether you like me or not, I
It don't
still
even
love
matter.
you.
I love it.
And I'm
I
going to
love it.
look out for you, and I'm going to do what I can for the people. And I don't feel as though we should be living in poverty-stricken houses
Right.
when we don't have to.
Yep.
If you care anything about your people, you care anything about the city of Salisbury, you would want Salisbury to represent what you say Salisbury
Amen.
represents.
Yeah.
And that's unity. You got that great big Unity
Hey,
Square up there.
there
Is
you
that the
go.
only place Unity resides at? Downtown? No.
Wow.
No. It should reside all the way across the city.
Yep.
That's right.
And the definition for unity is you and I tie.
Go ahead and your closing comments there, Bishop, because
No.
she did a good job over there.
I mean, that's the message that I preached yesterday in a unity service. Psalms 133.
Thank you.
And I talked about that. We can't receive the anointing until we value one another.
Right.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
We have to value one another. We have to. Because the whole mission, the whole ministry of Jesus is to help somebody along this way. Then our living shall not
Be in vain. That's my motto.
How many people have we prayed with? How many people
Come on.
have we given a kind word to?
Wow.
At the shelter, I do it every day.
Yeah.
I got to go back to the shelter and minister to a family
Wow.
that's
wow.
having some problems.
Wow.
This is the ministry, because when it's all said and done, we want to hear Jesus says, "Well done, thy good
Right,
and faithful
good.
servant." So everything that we do, we're going to have to give an account.
We're accountable for it.
Yeah.
We're accountable.
And if I can add something to in my closing statements,
Yep.
saying "Well done, my good and faithful servant," that is definitely what we all should desire.
Yep.
You got people who get elected and they call themselves a public servant.
Yeah,
I think a lot of time people forget the servant part of
servant. Yeah,
it. You know,
Gotta serve.
you got to serve, and that includes when you're dealing with other people, because we're all just. What was the comment you said out there on the bench? We're all just one tragedy away
That's
from being
true.
homeless.
from being homeless. So for those that have the opportunity, those that are the landlords out there, those that have the opportunity to give, and maybe even if you have a piece of property, I mean, we'll talk about it on another segment, but
Yeah.
Bishop was talking about the vision that another young lady had told him about, of having a piece of property where we can actually have a place that you can have dwelling, I mean, like house dwellings there, but also maybe a place for a little medical spot. Look,
Yeah.
it can happen. If it happens in Texas, it can happen here in Waikamaca.
Yes.
Just need to come together and get her done. You
that's
know,
it.
there's too much out here, and the Bible even says, you see your brother in need, you're supposed to help him. Come on, lend a hand.
Yeah,
you know,
you're supposed to.
you're not using it yourself personally. Help somebody else.
And let's stop fighting against each other
Each other, yes.
and fight together to win the war.
Yeah.
Ooh, remember who the enemy is. He's invisible, but he's there.
Yep.
Wow. Well, this has been another Bridging the Gap. This has been another Chopping It Up. And, you know, most importantly, we want everyone to understand, okay? No matter whether or not people want to admit it or not, people out here are in need.
Yeah.
And they're looking for people that look just like you and just like us
Yeah.
to spend some time caring. They don't care how much we know until they know how much
We care.
we care. This has been Bridging the Gap. Have a great one.
Bye.